They've been married for over 4 decades, 42 years to be exact. And if you asked them the secret to staying in love that long, they wouldn't point to grand gestures or exotic vacations. They'd simply smile and say, "We dance." In the kitchen, at first glance, there's nothing extraordinary about the small yellow house at the end of Pine Hill Street. Its white shutters are a little faded. The front porch swing creaks, and the flower beds have long since traded order for a wild kind of beauty. But if you step inside around 5:30 on a weekday evening, you might catch a glimpse of something rare, something timeless. You'll find them there. He's tall and slightly stooped. She's petite and graceful, even in her 70s. The kitchen smells like roasted chicken and fresh bread, and the soft hum of an old radio station fills the air, playing tunes from another era. That's when he reaches out his hand, like he's done 1,000 times before, and she takes it, every time. Together, they sway between the stove and the fridge. No choreographed moves, no particular song required. Sometimes it's Elvis. Sometimes it's nothing at all but the rhythm of their own hearts. It was the fall of 1983. She was making spaghetti for dinner after a long day at work. He had just gotten home and flipped on the radio, more out of habit than intention. The melody that came on stopped them both in their tracks. Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley. The moment was simple, but something about it felt cinematic. He walked over, placed his hands gently on her waist, and they danced. Right there, in the kitchen, sauce bubbling on the stove, garlic bread still in the oven. We didn't say anything, she recalls now, laughing softly. We just moved, slowly, like we'd done 100 times before, even though it was the first. From that day on, the kitchen became more than a place to cook. It became their dance floor, their refuge, a place to reconnect after work, after raising kids, after arguments and long silences, and all the unpredictable turns of life. There are plenty of spaces in a home to slow dance. The living room, the bedroom, the backyard on a summer evening. But for them, the kitchen held a certain kind of magic. It's where we spent most of our life together, he says, feeding our babies, making midnight snacks, cleaning up messes, and celebrating birthdays. It just made sense to dance where all that love lived. The worn tile near the sink still hold the imprint of their steps. The fridge has small dings from years of bumping into it while twirling too close. Even the dog, long since passed, used to lie at their feet and wag his tail in rhythm. Some nights, they don't dance at all, but when they do, it's never planned. There's no script. One of them just feels it, that tug in the chest, that quiet urge to reach out, and the other knows exactly what to do. It's the kind of unspoken language only decades of deep love can teach. Like most couples, they've been through their share of storms. There were health scares, financial worries, moments when they didn't like each other very much, even though they still loved each other fiercely. But the dancing, no matter how small the gesture, was always a way to come back home, not just to the house they built, but to each other. There were nights when we barely spoke, she says. We'd be tired or upset, but then a song would come on, and he'd reach out his hand. I'd hesitate, and then I'd take it, and somehow, things felt a little softer after that. That's the power of small traditions. They don't erase pain, but they anchor you when the waves come. Their children grew up watching them dance. At first, they giggled and rolled their eyes. "Mom, Dad, you're so cheesy." But now, those same children, grown with kids of their own, tell stories about it, try to recreate it, pass it down like an heirloom. When the kids moved out, the house got quieter. Dinner for two, fewer messes, more time to reflect. They traveled some, took up gardening, adopted a cat. But the most cherished part of their day remained the same. Those 3 minutes between cooking and eating, when everything else faded and it was just them and a song. He says it's not about dancing at all. It's about choosing her every single day. There are 1,000 ways to say I love you, he says. This is mine. And she, wiping flour from her hands or laughing at something silly he said, never forgets what it meant the first time he reached out, or the second, or the 100th. It reminds me that he still sees me, she says, still wants to hold me, that I'm not invisible just because we've been together so long. It's easy in this fast-paced world to chase after big gestures, surprise trips, diamond anniversaries, Instagram-worthy moments. But for them, love has always been quiet, worn in, familiar. Love is in the buttered toast he makes every morning the way she likes it, in the crossword puzzles they solve together over tea, in the way he helps her zip up her coat. And yes, in the dance steps they still remember, even when the music isn't playing. Sometimes their knees ache. Sometimes he forgets the lyrics. But they dance anyway, because when you build a life together, every touch says something deeper than words ever could. Maybe you're reading this and thinking about your own kitchen. Maybe there's a song that brings someone to mind, a moment you'd like to revisit, a rhythm you've forgotten you once knew. Maybe it's time to turn off the TV, put away the phone, and reach out your hand. It doesn't take music or skill, just a willingness to move, to reconnect, to say, I still choose you, because love doesn't age, and neither do slow dances in the kitchen. If this story warmed your heart, share it with someone who still makes you want to dance. For more love stories like this, follow us at Next Gen Flame, where stories never grow old.